Mike Todd has made it abundantly clear in the past how he absolutely hates prepping and studying for sermons. So instead of doing that, we see now Mike Todd actually stealing sermons from other pastors and trying to make it seem like it's his own. In today's video, we're actually going to dive into this clip where we actually see Mike Todd almost taking Robert Morris's analogy word by word, phrase by phrase, and joke by joke. And then we're actually going to watch a couple more clips where Mike Todd makes it abundantly clear he does not like to prep for sermons. And I want to end this passage with a specific Bible verse that ties in all of this. Now, let's dive into this first video where we see Mike Todd plagiarizing this sermon.
Let me give you one more illustration. Jason and Steve and Todd, will you guys stand up?
Hey, Charles, Will, Scott, come here real quick. Last analogy, we going home.
I'm going to give you an illustration. Let's say that I say to these three men, I'm going to go away for a while. And I've provided for Debbie, but I want to provide some additional funds for her. But I want to channel or funnel those funds through you three men. So I'm going to send each of you $10,000 a month, okay? Jason, don't get that excited. This is just an illustration. Okay.
Let's say I'm going on a trip, and I'm gonna be gone for an extended period of time. Y'all come right here. I'm gonna be gone for an extended period of time, and I want to provide for Natalie, my wife, and I'm taking care of her, but I want to provide some extra finances just in case she gets in a spot. And I'm gonna give each one of y'all $10,000 every. Hold on, it's just an example, okay? Just an example. Scott, calm down.
So, I'm talking to Debbie every day, and I say it to you, but I want you to give Debbie 10% of it, $1,000 a month, and you can keep the 90%. Just give my wife 10%. So I'm talking to Debbie every day and letting her know, it's an extended trip, but I'll be back in several months. I have to be gone. And after about 3 months, I think about these other funds, and I say, hey, how are the funds coming in from the three guys? And she said, well, Jason sends $1,000 a month. Just like you said, matter of fact, it arrives like January 1st, February 1st. I mean, he's like clockwork. It's $1,000, so good job, okay?
I'm gonna provide $10,000 extra for her through all of you, and all I want you to do is give her $1,000 each time I send you the $10,000. The other 9, you can keep. You can do whatever you want to do with it, but I just want to give you that money, okay? And what if I talk to my wife every night? What's up, baby? How you doing? Oh, I miss you. Caking. Y'all remember caking? Okay, cool. So I'm talking to her, and I'm like, hey, you remember those finances that I was gonna have Charles and Will and Scott give to you? How's it been going? And she's like, yeah, so Charles sends $1,000 every 1st and 15th, like clockwork. It's like $1,000, $1,000, like it just keeps coming. I'm like, okay, that bet.
I said, well, what about Steve? She said, well, Steve is sending $2,000 a month. I said, $2,000 a month? I didn't ask him for $2,000 a month. I just asked him for $1,000 a month. I know. I said, well, why is he sending I don't know. He just sends $2,000 a month.
I said, what about Will? Will, for some reason, sends $2,000. I was like, what? I was like, I just told him to send $1,000. I know, but every 1st and 15th, he sends $2,000. And it's just been consistent all over.
I said, well, what about Trader? Todd, sorry. Todd. I said, what about Todd? She said, well, we need to talk about Todd. I said, well, why? What's Todd doing? Well, the first month he sent $700. The second month, $400. And this last month, he didn't send anything.
And I was like, okay, so what about the thief? I mean, what about Scott? And he said, well, let's talk about Scott for a second. She said the first time he sent $700. The second time he sent $5. And this last month he didn't send anything. And I said, what? Scott didn't send nothing this last month? She said nothing. I said, but I gave him the $10,000.
Okay, now I want you to think about this. Think about this. How do you think that makes me feel? And I'm giving him the 10,000. It's coming from me. And I just asked him for 10% for my wife. He can keep the 90%. Okay, what do you think I'm going to do? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm not going to send him any more money because he's proven to me he can't be trusted. And I'm going to take what I'm giving him and I'm going to give it to Steve and Jason because they've proven they can be trusted.
Who would I stop sending resources to?
You're not a bad person if you don't tithe. You're not a bad person.
Watch this. Not because he's a bad person.
Yeah.
It's because he didn't do what I asked to be done with the resources.
Okay, listen to me very carefully. Tithing might be more personal to Jesus than what you thought.
Could it be said that tithing may be more personal to Jesus than we think?
He has the power. And if you say, well, I can't believe you just take it away and give it to the others. If you don't think Jesus would do that, read the parable of the talents. When he took from the one that wasn't faithful and gave it to the one who was faithful. He wants to provide for you. But why would he provide and bless people who will not even be concerned about his wife? It's a test, and it's very important we pass this test.
And if you don't believe that's real, go study the parable of the talents.
Yeah.
Where God literally took from the one who did not do what he asked him to do, and he gave it to the ones who weren't. Now listen to me. This is an example of me trying to provide for my bride. But Jesus calls the church.
Let me just to remind you, is the church the bride of Christ?
His bride.
As you can see, guys, it's almost word for word, phrase by phrase, and joke by joke. He just takes that as his own. And to be fully clear with you guys, I am not against a pastor using another pastor's analogies or message, etc. I'm not against that, but you need to give that person the credit that credit's due. He should have easily been like, hey, listen, I heard this from Pastor Robert Morris, and I just wanted to throw this analogy. You may have heard it before, but here it is again. And then just give the analogy. Give credit to where you've heard it. Give credit to the source. Why are we acting as if this is our analogy? As if this is something we just thought up on our own? And a lot of people are maybe confused on why this is happening with Mike Todd. But guys, if we understand, Mike Todd's made it abundantly clear he does not like prepping for sermons.
Things I've started doing practically is I don't prepare my messages alone anymore. Tell me about it. Oh, bro, it's the most freeing thing that's ever happened to me. So I call in a couple of dudes. What day you do this? This is Wednesday. So preach Sunday.
Same time or kind of more like on your call?
No. I mean, most of the time it's pretty consistent. Okay. But sometimes, so I'll tell you, Sunday I preach, Monday, Sabbath, I don't do nothing. I go get a massage, my work.
I text back on Mondays, man.
What'd you say?
You don't ever text back on Mondays.
Boy, shut up. So Tuesday, I'm back in the office. I'm CEO, like finances, meetings, this, that, and the third. Wednesday, I shut everything down.
Okay.
So Wednesday, first half of the day, I'm just gathering content. I'm watching everybody because I get inspired by people who do what I do. And I think this is a lost art in preaching because everybody warns against it because they don't want people to start sounding like people. But it's like, basketball players play with basketball players. Like where in the world do you you only shoot by yourself and you only defend yourself? Like,
it's a good take.
You're weak.
It's a good take.
So I heard that. I listen to everybody. It's not a set group of people, but I'm
listen to see what's happening.
because it inspires you. It inspires me, and it speaks to me.
Yep.
Like, there's so many times I've texted you and I'm like, bro, your sermon yesterday. You like, bro, you listen to my sermon. I'm like, bro, dog, that was phenomenal.
Scroll through.
Yeah, but so first half of the day, I'm just gathering ideas and content, and I'm all through.
So we see here, I mean, he makes it clear. He doesn't prep for his sermons alone. He's got a team that does it. He does it. He starts on Wednesday, and he doesn't like doing it. And he's comparing preaching to basketball players and playing basketball, as we do not connect the two. Those are not the same thing. Mike Todd needs to be faithful and actually open up the Word of God and preach verse by verse, chapter by chapter, and book by book. But instead, it seems like I'd rather watch pastors preach and then take their sermons instead. And then he doubles down with this by him saying even this in the past as well about sermon prepping.
I do tons of stuff I don't like doing because of the vision that God's given me. Can I be hot with y'all, humble, open, and transparent? I don't like studying to preach every Sunday. It is tedious work for me. I start on Wednesday to get to Sunday, and I'm working on Thursday and on Friday and on Saturday, and I'm tweaking up until 30 minutes before service on Sunday. Every week. I hate it.
See that Mike Todd's made it clear. He hates sermon prepping. He does not like sermon prepping. It is tedious, hard work for him. He starts on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, all the way up 30 minutes before this message. He's working on the sermon outline because it's just too much work for him. That's not okay. And in 1 Timothy chapter 3, starting in verse 1, it says this: "This is a good and faithful saying. If a man desires the position of a bishop," we understand bishop is also pastor, "he desires a good work. A bishop then must be blameless, the husband of one wife, tempered, sober-minded." So far, I'm assuming Mike taught of those things. "Of good behavior, hospitable, able to teach." That's where I want to hit the nail, guys. Mike Todd has proven over and over and over again he is unable to preach. He is unfit to be a pastor of a church. Yes, he has made it clear to his audience he doesn't think he should be a pastor, and there's other things he could have been doing, specifically in the music industry. Guys, he should go pursue that stuff in the music industry and step down from being the pastor of Transformation Church, and I will continue to stand by that. His messages are not lining up with what the scriptures preach and teach. He is leading people away from the actual Jesus of the Bible. I know he thinks he's doing the work of the Lord, and he thinks that he is leading people in a way that's righteous and holy and all that stuff, but he's not. He's leading people further away from Christ. And he continues to do this, and it continues to be needed to be called out by other people. This is not okay. Real quick, guys, if you enjoyed that video, consider subscribing to the BTteam Ministry YouTube channel, as well as like this video. Leave a comment down below. I'd love to have some conversations with you about your thoughts on this. And if you enjoyed this video, you might like this one over here.